Is it just me, or do quarterbacks run like a lot now? Welcome back to HUNNABALL, not to be confused with the film Moneyball. But speaking of sports changing, why are quarterbacks running so much? Baker, Russ, Patty Mahomes, Caleb Williams, hell, even Jalen Hurts all led their team in rushing last week. And I don't know, that's kind of weird, right? I wanted to dig further into this topic because it feels like we're never going to have a successful pocket passer again. So let's look at some stats. I have data this time, all right? Don't mess with me. Here's a fact. In 2025 Week 1, 15 quarterbacks were in the top 50 in rushing. So for all you math heads out there, that's about 30%. I said math, YouTube, relax. In 2024, there were 12, which is about a 20% decrease. And then in 2023, there were 8, a 47% decrease. And if you want to go even further, in 2022, there were 7. We're dealing with less than half of the rushers that we are in 2025. You starting to sense a pattern here? There's way more than meets the eye here, though. These aren't just tush pushes and broken plays. QBs are getting so efficient at running the ball. And I know there's more to the story than Week 1. What am I, trying to create a narrative to incentivize people to think I'm a credible sports analyst and watch my videos? Maybe, but there's more. Take a look at this. These are the top 10 rushing quarterback averages over the past decade or so. You tell me if there's a pattern. Okay, so quarterbacks run more. I'm not exactly breaking new ground here. Anybody who's watched football in the past 2 years would know that. But no one ever stops to ask why. Well, for starters, it's way more efficient for quarterbacks to just tuck it and run, and I could give you more analytical numbers, but there's an example from last week that's screaming at us. This is from last week's 26-10 barn burner between the Jags and the Panthers. Take a look at this play. Just run it. Run it, Bryce. Oh my God. You see what happens? You see what happens, Larry? It's plays like that that really elucidate my point, because it's a great counter to modern NFL defenses. I'm sure you've heard about the 2-safety high look by now, about how it was called 43% of the time in 2019 and over 60% of the time in 2024. We should just ban it, right? I'm kidding, obviously. I'm not a blabbering idiot.
Giants win. Giants win. That's all I'm going to say. Giants win.
But quarterbacks running is a really great way to counter safeties that are too chicken shit to get in the box. Could you imagine running the ball against Troy Polamalu? No thanks. But again, it's gotta be more than spacing, right? It can't just be quarterbacks don't have pre-snap reads. Tom Brady makes this point a lot by saying the game's gotten simpler.
I think we've dumbed down the game in so many ways to allow for a lesser caliber developed player to get in there and lead an organization.
And I just kind of disagree. Maybe the pre-snap has gotten simpler, but offenses are more complex than ever before. Things like spreads, RPOs, whatever the hell this was, all show that NFL offenses aren't dumber, they're just different. And QBs are incentivized to just tuck it and go, not because they can't think, but because it's the right play to make. Oh, I know why they run. It's the penalties. Quarterbacks feel invincible now. Again, yes, but no. Yes, the ability to gain an extra 15 yards on top of a scramble is really nice. And yes, some quarterbacks probably abuse it a little bit, but the issue is very, very overblown at this point. Can you just put your mind into an NFL quarterback's head? Are you going to foresee 8 seconds into the future someone hitting you harder than they should and then you getting an extra 15 yards? How do you plan for that? Why would that be plan A? So yes, extra yards is good, but it's not why quarterbacks are running more. Why is it? Okay, I'll quit dancing around it. The reason quarterbacks run more, at least the primary reason, is because they have more time than ever to throw. That's it.
Are you challenging me?
Here's a graph of QBs that average 3 or more seconds in the pocket for a season-long period. And as you can see, the number has steadily increased each year. 3 or more seconds in the pocket is a long time. I would know. Awful innuendos aside, you can see that the quarterback's time in the pocket has gone up considerably. All this to say, QBs having more time allows them to create more time, if that makes sense. Because if a quarterback has more time in the pocket, they also have more time to roll out of the pocket and create a play with their legs. It kind of compounds on itself. You still with me? Offensive lines have gotten much better, and when you combine that with quarterback athletic ability, that's how you get all these runs. I'll make a video next week about modern O-lines and how important they are in today's NFL, but for now, let's stick to the position people actually care about. And yes, obviously, everyone's more athletic and the game is way faster than it was, say, 10, 20 years ago. The sport has turned into a glorified hockey match of people flying back and forth across each other.
But HUNNABALL, what if I don't like hockey on turf?
Honestly, dude, I don't love it either. I long for the days where quarterbacks used to pick defenses apart before they even knew what day it was. It was probably Sunday, but who knows? There's this running gag on Instagram and Twitter going on where it's like, I used to watch gods play the position. I'm sure you've seen it. And like, yeah, Peyton Manning was really fun, and Lord knows he wasn't much of a scrambler. And the numbers back it up as well. Guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton were pre-snap warriors who never felt like they needed to run because, you know, they liked throwing the football. And there's an argument that mobile QBs kind of degrade the game as a whole. Not a glory hole. What are you talking about, Jerry? How many times have you seen a quarterback break out in the pocket and make a sick play that had to be called back 10 yards by some laundry because an offensive lineman couldn't fully rotate their body to keep leverage and just held? A lot, right? And the data proves my point. Look, holding has gone up steadily over the past 4 seasons. And wait, what is this? Yeah, I really wanted to blame new gen football schemes on all these holding calls, but to be honest with you, there's just no pattern. There's nothing there. Much like the Giants' offensive line. I've been on record saying that offensive holding is like my least favorite penalty. That's a great video, by the way, check it out. But it's not the issue at play here. So keeping the quarterbacks in the pocket will not solve offensive holding, unfortunately. The truth is, while it's easy to sit in our rocking chairs and complain that the game's gotten worse because quarterbacks can run more, that's simply not the case, at least in my opinion. Please sound off your 2 cents in the comments below, I'd love to see. But the position isn't getting easier, it's just evolving. Carson Wentz used to be some sick dude who can roll out of the pocket and make earth-shattering scrambles, but to be honest, it's kind of commonplace in today's game, and I don't think exciting quarterback runs are a bad thing. You used to be able to get away with a statue back there, but that's just simply not the case anymore. In 2012, when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, Joe Flacco had 22 yards rushing. Total. The entire season. When Eli won in 2011, he had a whopping 12 yards rushing on the entire season, which I thought was really crazy because I mixed up Eli and Mike Vick like all the time. A quarterback that can run is fundamental to a team's success in the modern NFL. In 2024, 3 of the top 4 finishing teams all had quarterbacks that rushed in the top 5 for their position, which is quarterback. And the last 3 Super Bowl champs all had quarterbacks that were top 10 in rushing yards and grade. I don't know, man, kind of seems like a pattern. I may just be making things up here, but it kind of seems pretty obvious. So yeah, while we've all probably noticed that quarterbacks run more and are more athletic than ever, I didn't realize that we were seeing a full-blown extinction of a whole archetype of quarterback that's defined the game since ever? And running QBs aren't new. They've just never been this important. And now's a really good time to shout out Marlon Briscoe, the NFL's first actual running quarterback. It was back in like the 40s, but you know, the NFL was too chicken shit to give him a fair shake. God, I said chicken shit twice in one video. Can't do that. But the pocket passer is all the way dead, and you just may as well not suit up a quarterback that can't run. Unless it's Mac Jones. It's ironic to me because when football started, it was basically rugby with style. The forward pass was introduced later, and it was kind of seen as witchcraft that you only use in a desperate situation. And obviously we've evolved a lot away from that, but it is kind of funny to see the game go kind of in a flat circle almost. I don't know, I like it. You may hate the new game, and that's totally fair, but coaches really don't care about our opinions, man. It's not like if I came on here and said, no one throws the deep ball anymore. What's the deal with that? It's not like John Harbaugh would see that and think, oh boy, this HUNNABALL guy makes pretty good points. I guess I gotta rework my whole offense. And John Harbaugh especially shouldn't do that because Lamar Jackson is so good. So good. I know this isn't a greatly timed take because the Ravens and Lamar just blew it to the Bills on Sunday Night Football last week, but in researching for this video, I could not believe how consistently great Lamar Jackson has been. I can't tell you how many rushing stats I wanted to use, but couldn't because, oh great, they're skewed by Lamar. Happened so frequently. He was a complete trailblazer for the position. People give Mahomes his flowers, and rightfully so, but I'd argue that Lamar's mobility changed the game way more than Patrick's sidearm trick shots. And yes, Josh Allen paved the way as well. But if you want to sit here and tell me that Josh Allen is a better runner with the football than Lamar, I'd be happy to have that debate in the comments. I just don't think you're going to win it. The same guy who was asked to run receiver drills at the combine has now completely warped the most important position in sports. I'm not saying when it's all said and done, Lamar will have more rings than Pat or Jalen or some other guy, but he does deserve his flowers. His Zay flowers. Hey! I just really hope Lamar gets one. Just one. And I'm not a Ravens fan, but I don't know. I got a weird feeling the Giants aren't going to be in the Super Bowl running this year. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. But I really hope we can all come together and appreciate this new style of QB. Because odds are, the game's never looking back. The traditional pocket passer may be dead, but that's not inherently a bad thing. The game and the position are going to keep evolving, and you can either be a part of progress or be run over by it. And I'd rather not be run over by an NFL quarterback. Ball game.
And because you know why? I'm a moron. And then, will they run it? Don LaGreca said this: the devil's better than God. 1-800-919-3776. Come on, I could say the most ridiculous things in the world. The Giants are winning the Super Bowl.